Hey everyone, welcome back to our weekly Tech AI Roundup. I'm Sam, your main host, and I'm really excited to jump into some fascinating stories from the past week. We've got a mix of stuff today, like that whole drama with the Olympics and videos getting blocked on X, an AI startup founder planning a protest march, and a heartbreaking scam involving AI deepfakes that cost someone their life savings. So let's kick things off and see what we can unpack from all this, Because it's always wild how tech intersects with real life.
Thanks for having me again, Sam. I'm Jordan, and yeah, this week's topics are super intriguing. I mean, we're talking about things that hit on copyright issues, AI in everyday protests, and some serious risks with deepfakes, so it's going to be a packed episode. Let's start with that Olympic stuff because it's fresh in my mind. I remember seeing posts about it everywhere. Okay, so from what I gathered, there's this incident where a video of JD Vance getting booed at the Winter Olympics was blocked on X, and apparently NBC edited out the crowd's reaction during their broadcast. That sounds like it's stirring up conversations about media control and free sharing online.
Absolutely, Jordan. And it's one of those stories that really makes you think about how platforms handle content. So, from the Reddit threads, it looks like the video was taken down on X because of a copyright claim related to the footage of Vance being booed, which is tied to the Olympics broadcast. Then, separately, NBC seemed to cut that booing part from their own coverage, which folks on our technology pointed out pretty quickly. I was going to say, wait, actually, it's interesting how this highlights the power of big media companies in shaping what we see. What's your take on that? Because it feels like it's not just about one event, but how information gets controlled.
Oh, that's a great point, Sam, and it does make me curious about the broader tech implications here. From the sources, people in the Reddit community were discussing how this could affect viral sharing, like how X's policies might be clamping down on user-generated content tied to major events. I mean, if videos like this get blocked, it might discourage people from posting live reactions, which is a big part of social media. So, wait, what does that actually mean for platforms like X going forward? It seems like they're prioritizing copyright over free expression in these cases, and that could change how we consume news.
Exactly. And let's not forget the NBC angle. According to the posts, they edited out the booing, which users on our technology noticed and called out. It's straightforward from the source. It's about how broadcasters can alter narratives. And that ties back to the video being blocked on X for similar reasons. I think this is a reminder of why we need to stay vigilant about media transparency, especially with tech platforms involved. All right, moving on from that, let's shift to something a bit different. That AI startup founder who's planning a march for billionaires in protest of California's new wealth tax. From the Reddit post, it's this guy basically rallying against the tax, and it's got people talking in the tech world.
Wait, that's right, Sam, and it's pretty straightforward from the source material. The Reddit thread shares that an AI startup founder announced this march as a direct response to California's wealth tax, aiming to protest what he sees as unfair targeting of the rich. I didn't realize how quickly these kinds of stories spread. It's like the tech community is buzzing about it. So, what I find interesting is how this reflects the ongoing debates in AI and business, where founders are using public demonstrations to voice their concerns. That's genuinely eye-opening, because it shows how policy changes can mobilize the industry in real time.
Yeah, Jordan, and from what I read on our technology, it's all about this founder's plan to organize the march, positioning it as a stand against the tax that's affecting high earners in California. He hasn't gone into a ton of detail in the sources, but it's clear he's framing it as a defense of entrepreneurial success in the AI space. Let me think. This could be seen as a way for AI leaders to influence policy, which is pretty common in tech hubs like Silicon Valley. So how do you see this playing out? Is it just a one-off protest or something that might gain more traction among other founders?
Good question, Sam, and based on the Reddit discussions, it seems like it's sparking a lot of opinions, though we should stick to what's actually reported. From the post, it's focused on his announcement and the march idea without diving into broader reactions. That said, it's fascinating how AI is intersecting with politics here, as these taxes could directly impact funding and innovation in startups. I was going to add that this might encourage more public activism in tech, but let's keep it to the facts. It's about his protest plan. Overall, it's a story that highlights the tensions between government regulations and the AI industry.
Totally. And that brings us to our third story, which is a lot more serious. An 82-year-old grandmother who lost $200,000 of her retirement savings in an AI deepfake scam. From the Reddit source, it involves scammers using AI to create a fake doctor who tricked her into transferring the money, probably by making it seem like a legitimate investment or emergency. This is straight from the R technology thread, and it's heartbreaking because it shows how accessible AI tools are becoming for malicious purposes. I mean, it's one thing to read about tech advancements, but when it affects vulnerable people like this, it really hits home. What are your thoughts on how we can prevent stuff like this?
Oh, that's absolutely concerning, Sam, and the details from the source make it even more alarming. The scam involved deepfake technology to impersonate a doctor, leading her to believe it was a real financial opportunity or medical advice. According to the post, she ended up losing her entire retirement, which underscores the growing risks of AI in everyday scams. It's wild how these tools are being misused, and it makes me think about the need for better education and safeguards. So, wait, from a tech perspective, companies like those developing AI need to step up with verification methods to stop this kind of exploitation before it happens more often.
You're spot on, Jordan. And looking at the source, it's clear this isn't an isolated incident. AI deepfakes are becoming a common tool for fraud. The Reddit community highlighted how the scammers use the technology to build trust quickly, which is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Let me rephrase that. It's not just about the tech itself, but how easily it's accessible now, leading to real-world harm. We should probably discuss how users can protect themselves, like verifying identities through multiple channels or being cautious with unsolicited requests. This story really drives home the double-edged sword of AI progress.
Exactly, and it's something that tech companies have to address head-on. From what we've seen in the sources, incidents like this are prompting calls for stronger regulations, though we're not speculating beyond that. I appreciate how you're tying this back to the bigger picture. Sam, it's all about balancing innovation with safety. Alright, wrapping up this part, let's not forget the human element. Stories like this remind us why ethical AI development is so crucial. Okay, so as we move toward the end of the episode, I think we've covered some heavy but important ground here.
For sure, Jordan, and just to tie it all together, we've talked about the Olympic video blocks showing media control issues, the AI founders' march as a response to taxes, and that devastating deepfake scam highlighting AI risks. Each of these stories from the sources gives us a glimpse into the evolving tech landscape, and it's clear there's a lot to watch moving forward. I love how these discussions help us stay informed, even if some parts are a bit unsettling. Thanks for chatting with me today. It's always fun to break this down with you.
No problem at all, Sam. It's been a great episode, and I think our listeners will appreciate the depth we went into. Just a quick recap. We started with the Olympics drama, moved to that billionaire march, and ended with the serious side of AI scams. Remember, folks, stay curious and critical about tech news. We'll catch you next week for more. Take care.
One more thing before we sign off. If you're interested in any of these topics, check out the Reddit threads we mentioned. They're full of community insights. Alright, that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. Great add-on there. Stay safe out there, everyone. Bye for now.
Wait, just to make sure we're clear, Jordan, I think we covered everything without veering into speculation, sticking to the facts from the sources. It's important for our audience to know that, okay, now we're really done.
Totally agree. And that wraps it up perfectly. Thanks again, Sam. Until next week.